and welcome to the Wicked Good Golf Show. I'm Steve Scott, your host, along with my playing partner, Jimmy the Bomber Bombard. Jimmy, how you doing?
Excellent, Steve.
And joining us this week, we are fortunate enough to have PGA professional Donnie Lyons. Donnie, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, this has been something that we wanted to have you on and enjoy the fact that you can come down and join us. You're coming to us from actually Lunenburg, Settlers Crossing, which is the new course that you've bought into and now own.
Right.
And we'll talk more about that, but it's a tremendous opportunity for you.
Yep, we're excited.
So, let's talk about, Bomber, I mean, when you have PGA professionals on, you've known him for how long?
Well, Donnie, besides, the main reason we brought him on is to talk about his golf course, but Donnie has been a huge piece of the New England PGA and the PGA of America for a number of years. Many accolades, many awards. He is...
Don't blush, by the way.
He is one of our top guys, definitely in our section, Donnie is. So.
Yeah, you're a past president of New England PGA. We just had Brian Bain on last week, and he sings your kudos as well in terms of being able to promote the game of golf and everything else. But you've been a PGA member since 1987. You've been a PGA Professional of the Year, 2002. Is that right?
Yep.
And the awards go on and on and on. In fact, the ones that I am more impressed about is the growing of the game and being able to grow the game. What's your philosophy on growing the game?
Well, I worked from one of the legends in our section, Bill Flynn, who owned some golf courses, was a grassroots golf professional. And, Bill started out as a caddy, then he was the caddy master and the assistant golf pro at Salem Country Club. And he believed in giving back to kids from day one. And that's the first person that I worked for once I got into the apprentice program. I'm a kid from Peabody, Mass. I started at Salem Country Club caddying and worked there for 6 or 7 years. But when I wanted to make golf a career, I went to work for Mr. Flynn at the Thompson Country Club. And at the public courses that he owned, the private course he was a golf pro at, and later the courses that he leased, he always gave free clinics on Monday mornings to all the kids, and they got to play free afterwards. He was a huge proponent. He started with the MGA in late 80s, early 90s, having a big week for inner city kids at Franklin Park before anybody ever heard of the First Tee and so forth and so on. So I learned from one of the legends in our business, and I mean, I see that it's all about giving back to kids. I mean, Jim's got kids, I got kids. We just hope that they're treated the same when they go to other sporting arenas, that, people that have done okay in those games would give back to them. And
what were some of the courses that he owned? I know Far Corners.
He owns Far Corners in West Boxford. He was the golf professional at Thompson Country Club in North Reading for 30 plus years. He owns Wyndham Golf Club in Wyndham, New Hampshire. He owns a small 9-hole place called Lakeview in Wenham, Mass.
Yeah, Lakeview, yeah.
So you mentioned First Tee, and in looking at that, you were a big proponent of the First Tee in Linfield, which is where you're from.
Right. We are one of the 5 sites in Massachusetts. We came on board in 2006. And what we do for First Tee kids is we actually go right to like Boys and Girls Clubs, Lynn YMCA and the Peabody YMCA, and we have them invite 25 kids. We kind of tell them what the ages are, mixture of boys and girls, and they come for 7 weeks in the summer for free instruction. It's all kind of funded through the Mass Golf Association. Program really wouldn't work without them. But our first year in Linfield, we also started, we have a Pro-Am that I run, my friends support, and local golf clubs donate golf, and we make about $3,000 a year. We've got about $22,000, $23,000 in the bank, and we're giving 2 $1,000 scholarships to kids that come to our First Tee program. Yeah, it's great.
Awesome.
On the First Tee, does that money, like if you donate, it's a national program, but if you donate, that gets filtered back through the state organizations?
In Massachusetts, basically the Mass Golf Association kind of bought the rights to the First Tee. If you made a donation in Massachusetts, you can earmark it, whether you want it to go to the Cape, to Linfield. Okay. They're going to open a new one in Boston. I'm not sure it's announced, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a Franklin Park.
And is there any in central Massachusetts that we know of right now?
There isn't. We're actually talking to them right now, but because they have pressure from First Tee of the United States to open one in the inner city directly, they're probably going to go with Boston. Yeah, they're probably going to go with Boston, but we've got some leads, and we're going to do something with the Leominster Lunenburg Boys and Girls Club. we're only going to do it 1 day a week because I'm only going to be at the facility 2 days a week myself. We're going to do it on Thursday, the day that I'm there, but we're going to probably invite, 15, 20 boys and girls out for 5 or 6 weeks, give them free instruction. Mass Golf had contact with them earlier. They were excited about something like that. It just, they were kind of pushed in a different direction at the time. I think if we show them the incentive, I think there's a good possibility down the road that we could be, their Central Mass location. We're a fun little small course. It's a great place to take the kids from learning how to hit the ball to taking them out there. And, we'll have family-friendly tees for them to get started and build some confidence.
And that's so important to grow the game ball.
Yeah.
We talk about that so much and with everybody who we talk about. But I got to ask a question. Are you recovered from the event of the van that?
It was my 2-year anniversary the other day. I haven't been back to Wellesley Square for a while.
So if you don't know, and you can tell the story, but were you walking or?
I was crossing the street coming out of a restaurant. I was at George Wright in Hyde Park working for Mr. Flynn for 19 years, and a group of guys started getting together once or twice a year. Guys like Andy Froud, Warren Birch when he was alive, Jack Neville. 15 to 20 guys once or twice a year would go out for dinner, and we went to a place in Wellesley Square, and I'm kind of like the baby of the group anyway, and our party was busting up about 9:15, 9:20. I was talking to my dear friend Jack Neville out front and Andy Froud, and I went to cross the street and somehow or other got hit by a van.
I remember that.
Yeah, and we're so fortunate
that was a bad one.
that you're okay.
I was very lucky.
Recovered.
Yeah, I was
and
really
everything
lucky.
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
One of the things that I also wanted to focus on was some of the events that you played in. You played in 2 last year, if I'm correct, right? You played in the New England PGA Pro Junior Championship in Dedham, and you played also in the New England PGA Senior Championship. What events are you planning on playing this year?
Well, I probably try to play in the seniors tournament because it's good to see some of my friends. It's a time where we kind of use it as a vacation. My wife will come along, and she knows some of my best friends' wives. And
What did you perform the first time? Don't you have to make a performance?
oh yeah. It was a few years ago though. I
still
sang
do that, right?
Sweet Caroline.
I think that's why I haven't played yet.
Barkey won't let you off the hook.
I know, Barkey.
He'll chase you down the
It's your
street.
first, when you turn senior and the first time you play in that event, you have to get up and sing or do some type of
they have a little talent show.
show.
And it doesn't matter if you're 50 or 62 if you haven't done it yet. And there's some guys that run away.
There
are guys that get afraid
You
to
would
go.
need a couple helpers, I think, to be able to perform.
Yeah, I don't know. Singing's out. Dancing's definitely out. I know that.
But you have won a couple of events as well. 2010, New England PGA Pro Junior Championship. That was at Brookline. Shot a 71. And New England PGA Assistant at Brayburn Country Club. You shot 75 in 2009. So, you do like to play, obviously.
I do. I love to play. And actually, in the last 5 or 6 years, I played a little bit more because my youngest boy, Sean, worked with me and played in the Pro Junior with me. I have 4 kids. My oldest is be 27. My son, Drew. I have a daughter, Megan, 24. Daughter, Colleen, 23. And I mean, my oldest guy, he played a little bit. Shawnee liked it more. More of his friends played. So we'd play while we were working together and stuff. And we enjoyed the time at the Pro Junior and stuff like that.
Well, you've had a great career, and you're going to continue to have a great career. We're going to have to take a break right now. When we come back, we'll have our golf tip, talking hands, grip, right?
Yep.
Is that what we got today?
Straight up.
Grip on the club, and also tee box rule as well. And we'll talk about Settlers Crossing, too.
Great.
More of the Wicked Good Golf Show right after this.